All right, peace, family. It's your brother Rich Underground Railroad with the Blue Pillar live on the lines with us today. I'm gonna let people.
Peace to the family. Yes, indeed. Peace to you and yours.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna let people come into the chat. In the meantime, let me play some ads for my family. Make sure you support these black businesses out there.
Indeed.
All right, family. Let me just get this pick. Get this Blue Pill. What's going on, man? I ain't man. Listen, man. You ain't been on the show in a minute. Every time I go on your Instagram, you in another state. You out there living your
Indeed.
best life, my brother.
I mean, and none of it is from neglect. I'm very vocal to the fact that there's a reciprocation that I get from being on this program. The energy and the feedback from the family. We're getting the chance to build with you. So I don't even feel like myself when I'm gone for so long. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's always an honor to be back in the building. I've just been traveling a lot. It's been a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Whole lot, yeah.
I guess to start out with, how was it? Because I know you're in Denver now, but how was LA throughout? We know a lot of people was focused on LA with the services for the brother Nipsey Hussle. How was it your time in LA? You and your brother was out there. What was that like, my brother?
LA was one of the most magical experiences that I have been privy to, in this short lifetime, what I'm saying, that I've lived. Um, Everything was just magical. Everything, you know, every day outdid the other in terms of the escalation, the levels that it went up. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like as the brother Nipsey was experiencing his ascension protocol, he was lifting the people that were on that vibration with him. You know what I'm saying? The people that weren't on that vibration, they can't relate. But for those that were actually activated, you know what I'm saying, and they were on that grid tapped in and moving with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just an amazing time. You know, at the same time, because I did go out there and I did put my journalist hat on, I was able to get in the trenches, you know what I'm saying, and get my ear to the ground and really hear what the streets are saying, hear some things behind the scenes. You know, there's a lot going on, bro. I mean, that's in conclusion, that's all I can say. There's a lot going on multiple planes. You know,
Right, right.
the spirit realm, on Earth plane, in the shadows. You dig what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot going on. There's a catharsis taking place. There's a transformation taking place. You know what I'm saying? And there's a cover up taking place.
Mm, wow. So, what um what was the vibe like out there as far as like the police, as far as the gangs out there, the Crips, um, as far as the unity out there, is it we're hearing different things. I mean, is the paradigm, as you say, is the paradigm shifting out there, my brother, as far as like the mentality with the brothers and sisters out
There,
there?
there's yes, there's an aspect of the paradigm that has definitely shifted. You know what I'm saying? Um, in regards to what the world is bearing witness to, when it comes to gang unity, right? There's an aspect to it that we can look at and we can identify and say, oh, things have changed. You know what I'm saying? And that mainly is amongst, uh, people that are in my demographic, in my age group. You know what I'm saying? And older. You know what I mean? The people that have pretty much lived a long time to see it, and that's not even a total situation in regards to them seeing things, and agreeing that we need to have this truce and come along, because there's elders in that community that hold on to a lot of the strife and the beefs and the blood libels. You know what I'm saying? That are not willing to let go of it, and then you understand, right, that the streets are run by the prisons in Los Angeles. So it's the street politics are tied into prison politics. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the people that are looking from the outside in, they don't see that. You have to be on that turf to really understand the way that city or those gangs, those street organizations operate. And it's a very foreign concept to somebody who's not involved. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you got to be there. You have to be entrenched in that environment. You know what I mean? And just being there is not enough. Like, you got to be entrenched. You know what I mean? You got to know who to talk to, right? Shout out to my brother Buddha Clinks. He brought me around some of the old school rosters yesterday who've been in that community since the 70s. You know, who was like, yo, we knew Nipsey since he was 5 and 6. You know what I mean? We were here before he was even born. And they watched the young man's ascension, you know what I'm saying, all the way up until his ascension. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they was able just to give me a lot of backdrop on the politics of that neighborhood. You know what I mean? The politics of that particular gang, which is an enormous gang, not only in the streets but also in the prisons. You feel me? And just showered me with different perspectives to help me broaden not only my own visual horizons, but also, my perspective, because we have moved into this phase where people are applying a mythological lens to this man's life and his legacy and his ascension. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, it was just giving me context, and I'm appreciative of the fact that, we could tap into the elders for mentorship. You know what I'm saying? The eyes are so valuable. You dig what I'm saying? People have seen so many things, even those that have come before us. And then that's not to say that the fresh young eyes are not to be, cherished for what they, what I'm saying, the different perspectives that they bring to the table as well. So I've been hearing a lot of things just from a lot of different people, and it has been broadened my horizons. You know what I mean? And it's just a lot going on, bro.
Indeed. Once again, I want to thank the family who have donated through the super chat. I advise y'all to go through Cash App. If you would like to support, definitely hit up the Cash App. I just posted the link in the chat room. That's the best way to donate to this platform. And with that being said, Blue Pill, man, well, I guess
right. Let me just I just want to reiterate, because, like I said, I'm having a lot of conversations with people who want to entertain things that are very now, I don't want to say mundane, because I don't want to disrespect anybody's perspective or where they seeing things from, but it's very earthbound. You know what I'm saying? It's dealing with neighborhood shit. You know what I'm saying? It's dealing with gang shit.
Mm-hmm.
And how they feel about the gangs and what they know. And then you're discussing the situation to people who are of the priesthood, who understand the spiritual import of what they're looking at, the mythological import, the metaphysical import. You know what I'm saying? And these are higher plane conversations. You know what I mean? So I'm having the gutter conversations. I'm having the higher plane conversations. And in your own mind, you got to find that middle ground because you can lose, motherfucker. You can lose grip. You know, you like, damn, this person's pulling me this way. This person's pulling me that way. You know, and you have to have a concept of your own to be like, look, man, I can make sense of all of these conversations. I can make sense. You know, I can filter all of this stuff that's coming through me in regards to people's different opinions. And I don't like this nigga because of this. You feel me? He can't be a messiah because he was a gangbanger and all of this stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then you gotta respect where people is coming from, even with those perspectives. You think what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Because they don't see the world the way that we see it. They're looking from their vision, and so it showed me that, especially in the digital age, a million people can look at something and see the shit a million different ways.
Different ways, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, it's not for you to be fighting somebody else for them to see things the way that you see it. You know what I mean? You just have to reassure yourself that that's what you're seeing. Because this shit is very tricky, bro. Very tricky.
There was a movie dealing with that. Was it Vantage Point where something went down and it was like...
Yes.
Yeah, remember that movie?
Right. What's your POV? You know what I'm saying? Comes down to your POV.
Yeah, definitely a good movie to check out. Yo, you know, you talking about, you know, spirituality and metaphysics. I'm not sure. Did I hear you or your brother say that the black hole that was recently seen was related to Nipsey Hussle's passing, and that was the soul of Nipsey? And is that what I heard one of y'all say?
We touched on it. AA touched on it. We did a pop-up on Sunday.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting, man.
Angeles.
That sounds spooky, brother. Talk to me about that, man. I like to hear shit like that, man. I like the spooky shit, man. I'm the God frequency.
Yeah, like shout out to my brother Dr. B Serious. He's an elder in the community. The people, y'all can look him up, you know what I'm saying? Dr. B. If anybody's from Los Angeles, especially the family from Atlanta, you know Dr. B. You dig what I'm saying? Dr. B was the very first one to put the 432 megahertz frequency in hip hop back when he mastered DJ Quick's album back in the day. Quick didn't even know that this brother was putting the 432 frequency in there. So these are legendary legends. You know what I'm saying? The eldership, people that ran with Sun Ra and them. You know, our family that really, really understand frequencies. So the first day that we got to LA and when I went to the memorial, Dr. B Serious was out there. You know what I'm saying? It was me, 19 Keys, Pop Darby, and Red. And the minute we ran into Dr. B, you know, Dr. B started getting into metaphysics. This was before the black hole appeared. You know what I'm saying? And he just started talking about, you know, the light that comes from Big Mama. You know, and A.A. Rashid talked about this in 2012 when we had that alignment and people were looking for miraculous things to take place. You know, he explained that it takes 4.4 light years for, 4.4 years.
You sound a little muffled now, Blue. Could you talk a little? You sound a little muffled. I want to hear this.
Hold on, let me take it off speaker.
All right.
Yeah, he was telling us about the light from Galactic Center taking 4.4 years to reach the Earth. You know what I'm saying? So that would be more like 2016, you know, when a lot of stuff started transpiring in quote-unquote Black America, you know what I'm saying? And we know what took place. And all of these things were taking place under the blood moon, and we did plenty of lectures about it. You know about it, Mike Brown, and all of the assassinations or distractions that were taking place to have melanated people feel that they were in an inferior, non-protected place. And a lot of people bought into that, you know. But he was just saying all of that to just speak about these bandwidths and these frequencies, and just the fact that there's a different energy on the planet right now, and that all of this is coming from galactic center. You know what I'm saying? And even the precursor of lectures that I was giving up until this point, all of the stuff that I did at the beginning of the year leading up to this, when I was talking about the Jasmines, and I was telling us about the 888 portal with the little 9-year-old girl Isis. You know what I'm saying? I did all of them lectures talking about Big Mama and Galactic Center, right? Leading up to the Burbox and the Jasmines and R. Kelly and the Sirius star system on January 1st and January 6th, aligned with the constellation of Cancer M44 cluster. I was getting it all in, just telling people like, look, these are the signs. You know what I'm saying? And what are these signs? Even all the way to the election in Vegas, when we were talking about the heralding, these signs speak about the coming of a Christos, a Christ energy, right? And it's amazing to me that when we get up on these platforms, especially now, we talking these talk, I see how many of these niggas is fucking Christians in disguise. Because, goddamn, here they go with their Bible verses, trying to explain to me, you can't be calling this brother, and then a Messiah, or he had Messianic force, and there's only one true Jesus. And then some of my own people is hurting my feelings. The brothers that are and prescribe themselves to Islam and stuff like that. Like, I really didn't know how religious some of my people were. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I be getting late night texts about, brother Mustafa, you're committing, an egregious act on divine creation by trying to ascribe to this man a divine station. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was a gangbanger. How dare you compare him to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? I'm like, my nigga, I didn't know that you was a motherfucking Christian.
Mm.
So, a lot of religion and stuff are coming out of people, and they're getting offended by us aligning this man's life mission in death, not necessarily in life, with messianic forces. But getting back to the
black hole.
The brother AA was saying that these black holes emanate from the constellation of Leo, or in between the constellation of Leo. And we know that our brother has Leo energy. He's a Leo. You know what I'm saying? And there's other particulars that speak directly to that connection and that correlation. But if nothing else, a black hole has never been captured in science before. They have never seen a black hole enveloping and capturing light. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about this whole concept of the Christos, or the light, you know what I mean? This Leo, right? Leo representing sun representing light, you know what I'm saying? And this sun returning back to the essence, returning back to, and the connection is more about the mama, you know what I'm saying, than it is about the father per se, not to take the father out of the equation at all. But the mother's the one that we see come forth. The mother's the one that has expressed herself, on this particular plane as a prominent force and a prominent voice in this conversation. You know what I'm saying? So even when we talk about and we think about black holes, that's the zero from which a one emanates. The one is synonymous with Leo. He was 333 1. The 33 is the one. The Christos energy. You feel me? So all of these factors that are speaking to this connection and this correlation. Now, 19 Keys got coordinates. He got something just a lot more scientific. A.A. Rashid has astrological markers and factors that speak specifically to this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that we can get more information from those brothers who are qualified to hit on those points.
So, definitely. I'm definitely gonna get AA on talk about that. Shout out to the brother AA Rashid, the brother 19 Keys. Besides what's going on in LA, we see a lot of things going on globally. And one thing that I found to be very interesting, Blue, was seeing the Pope bow down and kiss the feet of these I guess they were Sudanese leaders.
Sudanese.
Now,
Yes.
this is the Pope. This is the man that they say is the head.
He is the vicegerent. He's the vicegerent of God on earth.
The vicegerent.
Right. Yeah. We're not gonna get into the Black Pope and the Gray Pope and all of that. Shout out to
Phil
Dr.
Valentine. Phil Valentine.
But yeah, we're talking about the white Pope, right?
But
The physical appearing representation on earth, right? Because all them other people don't know all the other shit. They only know what they see. So when they see Pope Francis, they understand him to be the vicegerent and the direct representative, right, through the line of Peter and the Church of Rome of God on earth.
Blue, what was he doing kissing feet?
Leaders have to kiss his ring because he's the pontificate, right? He's the great holy see. You got to kiss his ring in his presence, right? So this nigga's kissing feet. So I ask people, what is feet synonymous with in terms of the signs, astrologically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
No.
It's Pisces, okay? But what number is synonymous with Pisces or the Piscean age? What number is synonymous with the Piscean age?
What number? What number?
33.
33, yeah.
Right, yeah. Remember Christ and
right.
the Pisces and the two fish on the back of the whips and all of that shit?
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So 33 is synonymous with the Piscean age. You know what I mean? And 44 is synonymous with the Aquarian age because that's what it equals, right? In Hebrew, in Gematria. That's what it equals. It equals 44. So on the last day of this particular, erroneous calendar year that we follow, we can say that March 31st was the last year. April 1st was supposed to be the new year, the new age, what have you. The brother died on the last age of the last cycle, and he closed it out in spectacular fashion. And the things that represent that particular age and that eon are going to fall to the wayside or burn to the motherfucking ashes. And this is what you're seeing, right? And because I'm a metaphysician, I'm all for symbolism. I'm not going to be literal with this shit like people want me to be. I'm going to be symbolic, right? Mm-hmm. The same way that people was compelling me to pay attention to the conspiracies because of the symbolism. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I'm going to be symbolic with this. So I'm going to say, after I watched this young man, right, receive, because I told people, I said, if you want to be motherfucking literal, because they want to engage literalism when they want to prove their point because their emotions are tied to their religion. So I said, let's say that a man called Jesus Christ actually existed, right? According to what scientists and astrologers say, they said if a man actually lived on this planet called Jesus Christ and got crucified the way that you say that he did, right? They traced the date in time to be April 3rd, 33 AD during the blood moon eclipse. Okay? So, if this young man died on March 31st, and they takes a 3-day ascension, right? Because we're talking symbol literacy here. There's a billion fucking Christians sitting on their hands right now waiting for Easter this Sunday. What does Easter celebrate, Brother Rich?
The resurrection.
The resurrection. Okay? So if we was to count 3 days from March 31st, what would be the resurrection date?
That's August 2nd, right?
Oh, I would say August 3rd.
August 3rd, okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I would say August 3rd. Shit, I would even flub it and say August 4th, god damn it. Mm-hmm. I would even throw the 4/4s on him. But I'm going to leave that alone. I would say that was the first day of his ascension after his 3 days because you're supposed to give a body, in our traditional times, 72 hours to ascend. That's when they have to settle their affairs on this plane and get their shit in order so they could, go on to the next level. So in this particular brother's case, who, as we show when we pulled the I Ching on his murder, okay, we came up with the 44 hexagram. And I can read to you what the 44 hexagram says. And you, as well as the audience, can bear witness. They can wrestle with the shit all they want. But they can bear witness at the end of the day that, it coincides with exactly with what you've seen. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So who am I? I can only sit back and do the knowledge based on how it's presented to me. Not based on what the conspiracy theorist is putting in my face, but based on me doing my research and already having all of this information available to me, I could be like, yo, damn, well, that's one hell of a coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when the shit starts stacking up the way that it does, like, I push coincidence to the side and I'll be like, this is science. This is more than a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? This is how the information shows up.
Indeed. Synchronicity, huh?
Synchronicity.
Wow, man.
Of the highest degree.
Indeed. Because it's funny that, well, not funny, but it's just interesting that, the brother, I think I might have said this to Red or something, but usually when somebody passes away, like an artist, their music is so big that it affects so many people because they were such a mega superstar down here on earth. This brother wasn't a huge music star. He wasn't a platinum artist. He wasn't a Billboard charting artist. Like, at all.
Can't have one song on Billboards.
So to see the way that people reacted and the energy that, how he affected the world, it's something different about this transition than other musicians' transitions that I have seen before. Quite interesting.
There's something different about this spirit, something different about this life, something different about him altogether. You know what I'm saying? For the people to be responding the way that they are, you know what I mean? And, for him and his life sacrifice to bring forth the unity and the things, the magnitude, the brother, right, was interned or buried or memorialized because he wasn't buried that day. But he was memorialized at the Staples Center on April 11th, right? Me and Red was in the audience. We was on the ground floor where LeBron plays at, okay? He was right there amongst all of the so-called luminaries because none of them niggas was shining that day, mind you, right? Everybody was subordinate to that man's energy. You had to be in the Staples Center to understand what you bore witness to. Granted, people see this shit on TV and it looked like one thing on TV, but it was a whole other thing in person. That was a coronation of a king ceremony. And they opened the ceremony with number 44. It was on April 11th, right? I already told you, the number 4 is the only number that you can arrive at in a multiplicity of ways, right? So 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 2 times 2 equals 4. So I can times the 4 times 11 to come up to 44, goddammit. I can do that in the system. And then the whole procession was opened up by number 44. He had a goddamn letter read by Barack Obama, followed up by Farrakhan. This is a gangbanger, as people love to designate him as, right? This brother was much more than a gangbanger. And I'm telling you, in the audience, you're much more than gangbangers. You're much more than niggas. You're much more than bitches. You're much more than anything that anybody else told you are. And seeing one of the motherfucking metaphysicians who done spent 20 plus years trying to tell you this about yourself, but like I said, and I've been saying it, anytime somebody manifests in their face, there is the actualization of the fly shit that niggas love talking about, they run the other way. Right? They can't deal with the reality of these situations. They only love the hyperbole. They only love the fluff of it. They only love talking about the mythology from 3,000 years ago of it. But can nobody qualify modern day shit? Why is that? Like, what the fuck is the sense? What's the sense of the time that we live in? If it's devoid of miracles, if it's devoid of, us having the messiah, what the fuck is filth more, blue pill, I'm bugging right now. That's red pill, goddammit. Why the fear of a black born messiah? Why even go through all of them series to build up to this? For the shit to happen and people to motherfucking be blind to it. But those with eyes are definitely seeing and bearing witness to what they need to bear witness to, right? Now, just take it as a clarion call for my people that's trapped into religion. Don't even take it as a second coming. Take it as a clarion call that the second coming is coming, God damn it, if that's what you need to do. You feel me? Just appreciate the symbolism of it. That the fact that you've been trapped in the Bible for so long reading about a fiction, and then when you see the physical manifestation of this shit, it gives the fiction a little bit more credits. Now it got skin to it. It's not just word, it's not just dead, it's just not dead letters. You know?
Yeah.
But let me read what the I Ching says, right? This is the 44 hexagram of the I Ching. This is what we pulled the day that he made transition. It's called Return of the Dark Force. In this Kua, the dark force returns suddenly and unexpectedly. No matter what is formed, whether as a malicious or evil-minded person or as a temptation or influence, it will in some way be a bad influence and cause harm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we can see from the video, right? Minus the conspiracy, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. You feel me? I've interviewed, I've slightly interviewed Cowboy. I spoke to mad people that was there, but I wasn't there. Okay, so I don't know exactly what happened, but I know enough about what I seen to know that it coincides exactly with the hell I just read you. I don't got to be that stupid and silly to know that if I'm pulling from the universe all of the motherfucking hexagrams that I could pull, and I get this one, it's not a coincidence. And I already told you LA is a 44 resonated state. It was incorporated on April 4th, and it was founded by 44 Afro-Mexicans. Afro-Mexicans. One of the most famous being Pico, the governor of Los Angeles, that many of the boulevards and all of that is named after. Go Google him. See what he looks like, family. Do the fucking knowledge. You don't have no excuses to be so inept when it comes to this information. Because you got Google. Ain't nobody just blowing trumpets over here. So, again, for all of my people that's in the church and the Bible scholars and all of that, you know, a lot of them send me the scriptures. Y'all need to be more forthright and stand up and let your voice be heard and stop cowering. You know what I'm saying? Because this nigga don't got blonde hair and blue eyes, right? They got scriptures to coincide with that church burning in France.
Yeah, that was my next question.
They got the scriptures. They got the scriptures with the motherfucking, the Pope bowing and kissing feet. Right? All of that shit is in the book. All of it is revealing itself. And it don't take nothing away from us to speak like this. Because I'm not in the church. I'm not a Christian. You know what I'm saying? But I ask people all the time. I say, well, what year is this that we in? Brother Rich, what year is this?
2019.
It's 2019. So we don't even need to have these conversations about who's a Christian and who's not. We all live under the Jesus Christ's narrative. Shout out to my brother Buddha Clinks. Right? Whether you want to fight this shit or not, you're living under the spell. Right? When I say today is Monday, what is it, April 18th or 19th now, based on the time that it is, 2019? I mean, that's all Christian. That's all, you know what I'm saying? That's all based on that Christian conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? To capture the calendar and the clock. The 2 C's, right? 33s, 2 C's, banging like Crips. Grip. Right? Banging on your whole reality. Got you living in a false motherfucking reality. All the way. The calendar and the clock. Right? Go fight that. Let the conspiracy theorists go fight that. And no disrespect to them. I'm just saying, there's bigger fish to fry out here.
Indeed, man. I mean, just
So you wanted to ask about the church and the steeplechase burning, the church that was built on the temple of Isis? When we keep telling you that this is about that motherfucking Syrian offset energy to begin with, Big Mama.
you know, it's interesting that that church burning happened. I think a week or two after that little white dude was burning the churches in I believe it was Louisiana. All
Yeah,
the,
it's a little to no fanfare.
yeah, nobody talked about it barely. You know,
Yeah, none.
I think he burned down 3 churches, man.
Hey,
So then a week later, this happens in Notre Dame.
let them all burn. That's what I say. They're not in there teaching anyway.
Nah, no, you can't say that, man.
Right.
His grandmother's in there, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Bruh.
We not set banging, bro. Come on, man. This grandma's in there getting a good doses.
I'm just saying.
They get
And shout out to the nanas and shout out to the grandmas. But even them, you're gonna sit in church for how many years and read these words, and when these words come to life, why are you so blind that you can't bear witness? Right? Because that's what your whole motherfucking time in that church is about, preparing you to bear witness. And be a witness. And embrace the fact that you live in biblical times. Bear witness. Don't be blind to the fact. Right? Or what you saw you, if you blind to the fact. And you can't be a vessel of truth in these days and times. Then you part of the problem. And you have to fall by the wayside, just like this era is falling by the wayside, just like that age is falling by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? It has to fall. In order for our comeuppance, in order for the things to manifest that we keep talking about and pumping all of this philosophical energy into, something got to fall for something to rise. Right? And all of it will be signaled by the signs of these particular times. And I ain't got to be a motherfucking Christian to see this shit. My name's Paul. That nigga wrote the Bible, goddammit. I know what I'm looking at. Right? You can't tell me about a whole street organization and you know, the day before Nipsey died, they was doing the coronation in Harlem, naming 126 and Adam Clayton Powell, Clarence 13X, and what was the exact street name? Because I don't want to get it wrong and then get attacked.
Oh,
Right?
That's.
But they were commemorating the work that was done by the nations of gods and earths, okay? And the fact that a law school is on that particular block. And all of the energy and the manifestations that came from that temple, right? By way of the messenger Elijah Muhammad, and these are his students. This is from his tree. You know what I mean? So you have organizations in our community that are vital to our community that have been teaching us for the longest, right? That the black man is God. You got to take that however you get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, people are only trained to see it through the lens that they're trained to see it through. Oh, you know your lessons. Oh, you changed your name. Oh, you follow this particular dietary regimen. Oh, you know, you're upright, or you pledge to this, or you pledge to that. You feel me? So there are all of these restrictions and constraints on you being a thing that has no restrictions and constraints on it to begin with. Okay? So it's not me set tripping. We live in a set tripping society. We live in a very setty-in set tripping society. But everything's set tripping. Everything's dogmatic. Everyone's trying to tell you who you are and how you get there. Rather than just saying, well, goddamn it. Well, I was born with this potentiality. You know what I'm saying? It was born in me, and it grew up in me. I went from a little God to a big God. You know what I mean? In my ascension. That this is not about Nipsey's life. This is about his death. This is about his ascension protocol and ascension ritual. You know what I mean? This is not about his life. This is about his death, his ascension, and the fact that we should be able to see divinity in some of the lowest places in our society, if in fact we say that we want to see it in the highest of highest places in our society. But the fact that we live in such a demiurgic place at this particular time, if a Christ or Messiah came to us, what would he look like? It's Kool-Aid in the bloodstream, nigga. What would the Messiah look like? To talk to these babies, who they call them baby kids and shit like that. I ain't crying. I didn't make this up. I grew up in the same culture you did. What would the Messiah look like coming to the baby kids, Brother Rich?
I hear you, brother.
I'm just saying it's necessary to talk like this so we can remove the fetters of people's eyes because they can't see this shit because they're only looking at through puritanical lenses. They're only looking at it through the lenses or the eyes in which it was fashioned and given to them by their upbringing, you know what I'm saying, by Nana and them. They're only trained to see it through, white men with fucking blonde hairs and blue eyes, right? They couldn't see it in King. They couldn't see it in Malcolm X. They couldn't see it in none of our leaders, right? They wouldn't give it up to them because they haven't honored those people's lives and their legacy like they was messiahs that had fallen or was killed by Rome, you know? I mean, niggas turned up when King died. Niggas turned up when Malcolm X died. You know what I'm saying? And we still living through the ramifications of that to this very day.
Do you think?
But they want to identify and, like I said, they want to use these peace guard, they want peace king, they want to use lofty terms in language, right? Because they keep talking in terms of endearment shit. So niggas want to use lofty terms of language, but they can't stomach the shit when they see it, and they want to come up with every excuse to you know what I'm saying, to muffle anyone and anything to saying, no, look, goddamn it, if I'm gonna see it in you, why can't I see it in him? If I'm gonna see it in me, why can't I see it in him? Right? We want to have marches and shit. Kings don't kill kings. Where the kings at? Where the kings at? Just by his motherfucking astrological sign enough, he was a king. He was a Leo. But did he not hold his head like a king? Did he, you know what I'm saying? Did we not witness him having a coronation crowning ceremony? So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to get a understanding of where niggas is at with this.
So I think what's interesting. Once again, family, I don't have any mods in the building. They telling me there's some trolls in there. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm focused on what Blue Pill's saying. But okay, I see one. I see one right now.
Shout out to the trolls.
This guy's going. Yeah, you know, they ain't got.
I used all that inspiration to go super hard. So shout out to y'all.
Oh man, I was gonna say something, but
yeah, I ain't see near fucking troll. Right, the famous ones. I ain't see near troll at no unity marches. I ain't see near trolls at no funeral. I ain't see near trolls at the store. I ain't see near trolls in the hood. I ain't see near trolls with his mama. I ain't see near trolls. I ain't see near trolls at City Hall. I ain't see near trolls dealing with the LAPD. Right? These are all the things that we did when we went out there. I ain't see near trolls.
Right.
And you know what I'm talking about. Nobody showed their face. Nobody came and showed their respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's the shit that we was talking about day one. It wasn't about, yo, you're not onto something. That's not what it was about. It was like, yo, son, if that's the case, then certain things need to be put in place. Because you're saying that other people are in danger, if that's the case. So we should, do what men do. and protect the women and the children and those who are defenseless against this oncoming onslaught that you are so fearful of that you're saying is taking us out. Right? We should man up.
Right.
But Nipsey's mother said, "Yo, I'm home by my." I don't even know if I should be saying this, but she, let's just say it like this: at some point, she didn't feel protected. Okay, she didn't feel protected, and she was going against Goliath. Right? We talking real shit, not this baby shit that these niggas is dealing with. Real shit. Like I said, people don't want to entertain how deep this rabbit hole goes. Because they're not willing or able to deal with this shit.
So
So continue entertaining the fiction. You feel me?
Indeed. Once again, family, make sure you donate. Cash App. I'm gonna post the link right now. Make sure you donate. Support independent media. My man Blue Pill is dropping plenty of gems tonight. I appreciate the brother for coming on. Haven't had the brother on the platform in a while, so it's good to build with the brother once again. And with that being said, I think what's interesting, Blue, is that this whole thing made me think about Brother Panic in a sense. And when I say that, this whole death thing, I think one of the things that hold our people back the most, I think it got to be the top. You know, we got there a lot of things that hold us back, but this got to be in the top 3 things. Maybe the biggest thing that holds us back is our fear of death. Like, we scared of that
that's
shit.
number one.
Scared of that shit. We are.
That's number one. Let's talk about it. That's number one.
We are motherfucking I'm talking about like death. You mentioned death, a nigga like, oh God, oh no. I want to live to be 2,000 and 3,000 years. I don't want to die. No, I don't want to go to that other side. I want to see like
niggas. Hold on, right? Niggas want to hold on to the shit that they say hurts so much. How about that?
So
you're the white man this, the white man that. I can't get a break. I can't. You want to live 1,000 years like that?
So one of the things, you know, when you're into the occult realm, and one of the reasons why I appreciate Panic teaching, you know, I mess with the brother a lot.
Brother Panic.
Is you know, he constantly some people call him the teacher of death. Constantly talks about death, this, death, that. And I think that when I heard Nipsey's mom, and it kind of ruffled a lot of the Christians' feathers. And I don't want to come at the Christians. Shout out to the Christians, brothers and sisters that's watching the program. But it was kind of disturbing to some people to see somebody happy when their loved one passes on, or it maybe not even happy, but not completely sad or distraught. Embracing it. It was something so different. It was something that we aren't used to seeing. So, and it's kind of freeing. It's like it's real freeing to see somebody respond that way to death. Blue, talk to me about, you know, you're a student of history. It seems that this culture is scared of death more than any other culture I read about in history. So talk about the change. We talked about the paradigm shift and the change of times and the Notre Dame church burning. Is this going to change where we're finally not scared of death no more? Did his beautiful mother change that paradigm right there, Blue Pill?
Yeah, shout out to Mama Angelique. You know, and we were honored to spend some time, you know what I'm saying, with the mother, with the Empress. And the things that she was imparting to me in particular is that, you know, we cannot be fearful, you know what I'm saying? That nothing useful comes out of fear, you know what I mean? We're not going to grow as a people being fearful, you know? We have to be vigilant, you know what I'm saying? And what she spoke to me about is that she was being prepared for death by her spirit. Now, this is an important conversation, right? That goes directly also into our family that's listening that has umis and nanas and sisters and things like that. It's even in religion, even in Christianity. Those women, for whatever reason, I think specifically because they're melanated women, right? As well as our sisters in the masjids and what have you, they have a lot of spiritual inclinations that they kind of brush off because the church it doesn't have a space for it. Case in point, Nana be like, yo, my hips start twitching. My bone in my hips start twitching when something's bad's happening, right? Or my mama say, I dream of fish when babies is about to come, right? All of these things that are innate and natural in women, right? And their connection to the magnetic field because everything is connected and fluctuates, right? So if the information is coming from on high, that this time is about to come, think of it as, I love to say that we all live in a fishbowl. Think of the galaxy as a fishbowl. Think of these fluctuations in the way that these waves start fluctuating. Mama, right? Who's mama? The seed is a representation of the matriarchal line because of the mitochondria. So mama, nana, and all of them know, boy, don't you go outside today. Boy, don't you bring that person back in the house. I don't like them for you, right? They always know. They always tell you what time it is. It be on us that we be ignoring them. We ignore the signs. So Mama Angelique in particular, her spirit was preparing her for 2 weeks that death was coming. So when it arrived, she was already at peace because she had been prepared. She was willing to be obedient enough to listen to spirit. She surrendered. You understand? I'm saying this. I'm saying that to say this. Like, there are many mothers out there. There are many nanas out there. There are many women who have these powers and these gifts, and they're suppressing them because they don't have nobody to talk to them about, talk to with them about, right? And they don't have no biblical historical reference, you know what I'm saying, as a backdrop to say, oh, it was taught to me in seminary class or in Sunday school or my pastor spoke about it. So they think that it's evil. They think that it's something from the devil. They think that it's something they should banish. They think that it's a bad part of them, right? So they don't utilize these gifts. And if they do them in private. They're not vocal enough. So oftentimes the message doesn't even go out. And the son ends up dead. And the mother got to live with that. And then she starts grieving. She dies early. That was tragic. You know what I'm saying? So mama was able to listen. Mama was able to be obedient enough where mama was able to be poised to get on that stage and become not only the mama of Nipsey Hussle, but she became the mother that ushered in this modern day context, a new understanding of death ritual, the glory of death. And I always speak about this. The glory of death, right? Death is glorious. And she spoke about the beautification of death, the fact that her son was glowing, that his heart chakra, the energy that he felt for the love for the world, the energy that he felt in his heart chakra was able to make its way up, right, to his countenance, to his face, where when she saw his body, she saw his face, it was glowing. And she said the body had a sweet aroma to it, right? And when I was with her the other night, she actually showed me a picture of him in the casket. He was regal as fuck. She said not one hair was out of place when she saw him in the morgue. But even in the casket, the brother looked like 800 feet. He looked like he was standing up. He looked regal. Right? So if your life mission is one in which you have exhausted, right, your reserves, you've done what you were supposed to do, and you did it your way, right? And in your death, I'm not even going to say in your untimely demise, right? Because who am I to say that? It could have been the perfect timing for him. In the event of his demise, right? Because his mission was complete, or this aspect of it, there's other laps of the marathon that need to continue to be run. But this aspect of his testimony, of his life's mission, you know what I'm saying, of him exhausting his life force and putting it into something that was productive against all odds. Like, people don't understand the criteria that this brother was going up against when he was signaling change coming from the neighborhood that he came from. Shout out to Buddha Clinks. He said this is the first time that we get to witness the aspect of a negative one Christ. Not the one, but the negative one, the negation of a Christ. Because you can't come from neighborhood. You can't come from the neighborhood rolling 60s Crip, right? Representing what they represent, and then get on an international global stage talking positive or trying to reverse that role into positivity, right? That shit is like trying to turn an electron to a proton, bro. We don't understand the magnitude of what the fuck his mission represented, because you're not from LA. You're not in the streets. You don't get it. The only reference people have to these gangs is the shit that they see in New York, and that's not it. Bro, we went to the funeral where we saw fourth generation Crips. I seen niggas do with 70 and 80-year-old Crips. This shit is deeper than rap, bro. Like, you really talking some bloodline shit. And there's politics to go with this. Like, real fucking politics. So for somebody to come up in that organization, in that environment, and have the audacity to step out and represent something that was counter to that in the realm of positivity, in a higher realm of thinking, oh, hell no. That's a whole nother spectrum, right? But what you looked at, you've seen a real community revolutionary in progress. Right? You saw the manifestation of it. He put on for the set. Haru putting on for set.
Indeed.
Right? And now there's 72 co-conspirators. Nigga, I done heard every conspiracy you could think of. And all of them shits have a level of validity to them. Like I said, this is some Sherlock Holmes shit. Who done it?
Dean, and to all the brothers, shout out to the sisters out there who have these gifts that Blue was talking about. We definitely don't want the sisters suppressing the gifts, and also the brothers who have these gifts of intuition. I'm very, very intuitive, so I pick up on a lot of shit. So I definitely, I found out when I got older, I found out my mom's was suppressing certain gifts that she had.
Because of her involvement in the church.
Yeah.
She didn't have a backboard to bounce that ball off of.
She didn't really feel comfortable, Blue, talking about it a little bit till she seen I started to get into Bobby Hemming and all that shit. And then I seen, a little bit more of it come out of her or whatever. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, damn, I've been hiding this shit for me.
I have not, to this day, I have not met a woman yet who don't have the gift. I ain't met one yet. Right? And of course, it varies in degrees. Right? Where some women are full blown with it, and others are just, they have specklings. Like, my little nieces and them got it as babies. And then if they embrace it, and there's a safe environment provided for it, it's going to grow up. But now, because they are indoctrinated and raised by Nickelodeon and Disney, they're going to grow up to want to be brujas and witches and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So they can't even put it in a proper traditional context where it could be connected to something that actually worked for them on the highest degree. And no disrespect to my witches or my brujas. I'm just saying, don't do it in the context where the backdrop or the backboard that you bouncing your ball off of is Wiccan witchcraft or some shit that you seen or got us out of Sephora or seen on Nickelodeon. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed, indeed. And to the brothers out there, what we're talking about, I definitely think that this whole idea of death, it's very important for the brothers out there to understand this concept of death, because then we're able to move fearlessly. I think when we start moving like pussies, that's because we're so scared to fucking die, and you start to act like Steve Harvey and shit like that. But
Yeah.
when we when we understand death, you know, we move like Nipsey. We move more fearlessly. We move
Bruh,
like kings
like
and
I
gods
said,
and shit,
you
man.
fearless. Like,
Yeah.
we out here pushing like, yo. Now, don't take this the wrong way by saying, yo, I can't wait to go. It's not like you suicidal.
Right,
It's
right.
not like you signing up for this shit. It's that you embraced it and you see the beauty in it. And you like, yo, I'm gonna go until the motherfucking wheels fall off of this shit. Like, I'm going super motherfucking hard.
Mm.
Can't nothing stop me. You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm not frightened by death. I'm not fearful of, I'm not intimidated by that shit. I know I got my wings. What am I, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's holding me back? And we all have that little bit of fear in us, even if we don't want to admit it. It's subconsciously lodged inside of us. Because, like I said, we just came through a whole program when the energy and the light from Galactic Center took 4.4 years to hit Earth. They hit you with mad death rituals showing our babies getting executed on TV in real time, getting shot by police and all of that stupid shit. That created fear, whether you want to admit it or not. I had to work my way through some of that shit. Because I had my experiences where I'm like, yo, the police straight up tried to kill me on more than one occasion. Right? And you got to walk the streets every day and deal with these niggas. You got to look at them. You got to be reminded of that shit. That shit is traumatizing, bro.
Mm.
Especially when you know that they out here getting away with murder with other people who wasn't as lucky as you. And they're glowful about it. They're getting away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're not doing too much of anything to protect, you know what I'm saying, the people that's coming after us. There's just, you know what I mean? Like, there's just sitting ducks to this program. Right? But this is the adversity that is present in these environments that's necessary to turn you into the diamonds that you are destined to be. Right? And I'm just saying, Nipsey's the motherfucking saint of that sacrifice in these days and times. Stop taking it so offensive, people. Go find you yours. Hang on to motherfucking Caesar Borgia or whatever you need to pump up, you know, your drive and hustle and motivate you to get out there and get what you need to get. But in these days and times when we know what we up against, we know that the face of Rome looks like what the motherfucker does, you know what I'm saying? Then we need to push a little bit harder. You know what I mean? And sometimes people need that martyr. Because they got to pull from a place that's not physical. Especially if you're telling me that we're fighting principalities that are on the spiritual plane. And the fact that, let's say that your beef is these people that are in these streets, right, wearing these uniforms. Well, in their octagon hat, in their 8-point hat, they have the Archangel Michael underneath that motherfucking hat. And that's the force that they're pulling on, right? And what did I tell you? I said, look, according to these people's own book, because I'm going to keep going back to their goddamn book, right? I'm going to force you Christians to see this shit. According to your book, you say that the precursor to the coming or the second coming of Christ, right? Because we live in this pluralism. We're in the 2000s, this new millennium, right? So the second coming, right? And in order for something to be pluralized, you have to see the singular aspect of it first. Because they keep telling us in the Aquarian age, this is the age of Christ consciousness, and this shit deals with the pluralisms of Christ. Well, in order for something to become plural, it has to be singular first. So you have to bear witness to the motherfucking testimony and a witness of a Christ, right? And the Christ is synonymous with a crucifixion. So you saw this shit for the very first time because you ain't see Big or Pac get killed and none of the rest of them. You damn sure ain't see Jesus get it, right? And then from this man's own personal sacrifice comes the birthing. What do people say? Oh, there's going to be 100 other Nipseys. So that's pluralism. That's your Christos. That's your mini Christ. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning and the dawning of this Aquarian age, we just at the beginning, goddammit. This shit ain't gonna burn out. But they said the precursor to the return of any Christ, they said what? They said that Archangel Michael comes, right, with the motherfucking legions. So what did I say? When Mike was getting it, when they resurrected Mike, they dug him up from the dead, same way that they did in Thriller, okay? When they dug him up from the dead and they killed him again, right? They sacrificed the nigga and crucified him in public, okay? They turned the angel into an archangel. I said, let them arch him. The only thing that this means is the signaling of a motherfucking oncoming Christos energy. And what do we get right after that? We got Hermaeus, God will rise. And what are we seeing? God will rise, goddammit. We seeing the rise of God. So if this conversation is not for you, family, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? If I have offended anybody's dogmatic indoctrinations and shit like that, if I'm, if your nana's telling you to turn this shit off, you know what I'm saying? That boy's being sacrilegious, he's going to hell, don't go with him. My apologies. Right? Well, for my metaphysicians, my occultists, and the people from, you see what I'm saying, the metaphysical underground and all of that shit, we know what I'm talking about. This is the same conversation that Bobby and Phil and all of them been having. It's just a graduation of it. Because it's a continuance. The shit don't stop. We got to keep telling these stories. We got to keep putting things in perspective. The wheel keeps motherfucking turning. It ain't over, but we won, like Bobby said. Victory lap, goddammit. I'm just saying, bro. I know I'm not bugging. You feel me?
Yeah.
I done been in this shit too long. I done have my ear and my nose to the ground. I know what I'm looking at. And I'm in these streets. I see the change. I see the transformation. Right? You see Farrakhan up there talking about the blue and the red star Kachina. That's what I'm saying. Niggas ain't do their homework. So they don't know what the fuck is being spoken about right now. It's catching them off guard. But for those of us who have been studying from day one, we know what the fuck is happening. We know what we're looking at. We know when we see red and blue come together what it means. We know. Stop telling me what you think and you don't know. Move to the side. Let the people who know tell. So I'm speaking to my people with eyes that can see and ears that can hear. You feel me? You are living in a wonderful time. Oh, what a time to be alive. You know what I'm saying? Utilize this energy to do some magnanimous shit with yourself. Don't get up into the if this narrative and this fantasy Christos, you niggas gonna go see Avengers when it come out anyway, so cut it out. Okay? And you're gonna be talking about that shit for the next few months like it's a real motherfucking thing. Alright? So let the Trap Boys have a God. Let the Bangers have a God. Right? You can't reach them. You're not willing to go in these communities and talk to these babies. You're not putting nothing together that speaks directly to, the shit that they prioritize and feel is important. You can't connect with them. You wasn't even trying to. Leave them alone. Let them have their Saint Nip. Right? It's doing them a world of motherfucking good. It's niggas coming up to me with face tats, talking about, yo, where can I get the fucking herbs from? Or niggas is already coming up to me talking about, yo, I'm on my third intracellular chelation. I mean, this shit is different, bro. They want Sabi products.
Yeah, Queen of Fool
They
book.
want the information.
Queen of Fool's book is selling off the shelf right now.
Queen of Fools, we had a conversation. We ran into her out here. You know what I'm saying? She told me how much numbers she's doing in the back office, bro. Right? Like I said, I was in the Staples Centers. You got to see what these young women look like. They're part of these organizations. You feel me? They need Queen of Afua. They need Mama Pill. They need Mama Angelique and 100 others. How dare these niggas? You're supposed to be doing everything you can do to edify these examples and multiply them times 100. Because these young women need that example out here. These are beautiful young sisters. Powerful. You could tell that they possess the wombs to bring forth the messianic force. You know what I'm saying? They just need to get cleaned up a little bit. They just need a little bit of information. You know what I'm saying? Straighten them up. Like, who's willing to do the work? I can't believe that we did the work so long to come to this point to drop the fucking ball. Right? So same, like, there's this, I'm about to get into my phase two of this conversation. You have any questions first?
Nah, brother, I'm just listening. We got about 20 minutes left, so I just want to give you the opportunity to,
I am thoroughly fucking upset with the conscious community, okay? Thoroughly. Because during this time of unification, niggas chose to utilize this motherfucking precarious,
watch cursing,
most
blue.
precarious time.
Cursing.
All right, this window does not stay open forever. Right? We're talking about the preciousness of time. Right? Time is precarious. It comes and it goes. Windows close. But instead of unifying, instead of showing the face of unification for the world to bear witness to, right, to coincide with what the gangs were doing at this time, the red and the blue were coming together and they have real blood issues. They got real blood beef. They got real blood spilled between them. They have generational beef. Some people were born into these conflicts. And they put all that aside to unify, right? Because this is what this man wanted. This is what this man they felt died for. This is the aspect of his marathon that they felt qualified that they could pick up and continue to run, right? What do the conscious community do? They fall into sectarian warfare, right? Where the emotionalism of people worshiping and edifying one man start banging on other people edifying and worshiping another man. Okay? And the world was able to bear witness to the flawed, the fatally flawed aspect of this community. They cannot continue forth because they have shown continuously, time and time again, they are not qualified for leadership. They're not qualified for leadership.
What you talking about? The Dr. Sebi drama? That's what you talking about? Let's just, let's
that's
be real.
just one aspect of what I'm talking about. Just one aspect.
And that's not the conscious community, bro. That's the nation of Islam, brother. Don't shoot
It's the
at
conscious community as well.
Oh, okay,
it's the
right.
conscious community as well. Because all of the platforms and the stages started being set to give these people's audience. Right?
That is true.
And the stuff that goes online, in the comment sections, and the people that are throwing wood inside of this fire, it coincides and coexists with the conscious community. And whether we want to believe it or not, Farrakhan and Sebi, right, are considered fringe in regards to their relationship to dominant society. So it's part of the conscious community because that's what the conscious community represents. It represents fringe organizations, fringe thoughts, fringe ideologies. You understand? And that's not a bad thing, right? These are things that we stand on. Like, I would rather stand with the fringe than stand with the American Medical Association. I would rather stand with the fringe than stand with, certain aspects of organized religion, that I can't get with or that I don't co-sign, right? I wholeheartedly love the nation. And they know it. I tell it to them every chance that I get. Right? I stand in unison with many brothers from that particular organization. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing bad to say about them. You feel me? But I do not appreciate or like how this matter was handled because all of this shit was dealt with was all based on ego.
Mm.
It was all based on ego. And I seen Wesley Muhammad at the Staples Center. The only person I got a phone call from was Rizza Islam. Okay? Nobody else reached out to get no clarification. If you want to know what the fuck Sabi was talking about, then you should call us. Right? And stop utilizing these opportunities to defend some things that don't need to be defended necessarily. Unless you caught up in your ego and you worried about how the world is looking at you. Right? Or you're concerned with them asking questions. You feel me? So I don't really want to get all the way into those particulars, but I just cannot believe that at this time the unification was taking place, and this man's self-sacrifice was to edify both of them platforms. He had love for both of these men, and both of these men got to shine with his sacrifice and his death. The world got to see the Nation of Islam rising up in the street, right? Being a dominant force over street organizations because they was providing security for them, right? And they were the glue. They was present to make sure that unification took place. And they also was our street representatives in terms of we're providing security for the family, you know, our family and our communities when they're coming out to mourn and to express their grief or to march and express their joy. The nation showed a strong presence. You know what I'm saying? Necessary presence. Because the babies got to see this. And other people from other places got to say, well, goddamn, those are 3 standing armies. 3 of them. Right? In close proximity to one another. What would it be like if they was unified? What if the street organizations had the discipline of the Nation of Islam? Right? We got to entertain a lot of different thoughts. We got to see a lot of things that we haven't seen. At least I've seen some things in my lifetime, but there are younger people who never saw that. They never seen none of these things in their lifetime. So they got to dream a new dream. And then Nipsey's sacrifice brought millions of new people to the information that Dr. Sebi disseminated, you know what I'm saying, to his mission. He became a trending topic. Maybe the number one trending topic in households.
Hell yeah.
Next to Nipsey Hussle.
Everybody.
You feel me?
Everybody.
So this man's sacrifice brought light, necessary light and attention to 2 necessary factors in our community that we need to move forward, right? We need organization, and we need to learn a little bit more about health and wellness, because it's necessary and it's vital, especially if you're talking about the marathon continuing, because you ain't going to run no marathon overweight. You're not going to run no marathon with congestive heart failure. You're not going to run no marathon with cancer of the pancreas, in the liver, in the lungs, and heart disease, and diabetes, and none of them things. So we need to become more focused on health. And even for the conspiracy theorists who were so angered by the fact that, yes, we saw the assassination of a Messiah, another Messiah. Even for those who want to get back, however they choose to get back, you got to be in shape, bro. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no fly-by-night. You talking about taking on a campaign? You talking about being warriors and being vigilant and turning the tide and preparing your vessel where you could get divine intervention in places where it doesn't exist? Case in point, where 300 of you go up against 3,000 of them and win, right? You have to prepare your vessel. So these are the orders of the day. This is the universe speaking to you. And it broke out into a family argument at the picnic. How dare you? How dare you seize this opportunity for bickering? And once again, nobody in the community, right, with an authoritative enough voice stood up and stepped up and said, enough is enough. We can't have this. Not now. That man wasn't even in the ground yet.
Mm.
And they made this about them. That was very shameful, bro. That was very shameful. You know what I mean? Why can't leaders of the conscious community come to the table and they don't have no blood between them? Why can this not be about the people? It's just always about organizations or, um, celebrities or you know what I'm saying? Names and organizations. What about the people? And that's an ambiguous term. I don't even co-sign that shit necessarily. But if that's your platform and if that's what you pitching, where is it? I'm about my people and identifying who those people are and putting on a rider for them. I don't know what this term "the people" means, right? Because shitty cuz could be part of that. I don't know about the people. But that's what these niggas run around here talking about all the time. The people, the babies, and all of that. What about them then? When are they going to get prioritized? When is it going to stop being about your leaders or your one persons or your egos or your bruised egos or your delicate assness? Like, come on now. We blew a major opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And niggas look real tomfoolery with this activity. It continues to persist. To this day, they still going back and forth. Hijacking the narrative. So, niggas don't want unity. What is it going to take? You ask yourself that. What is it going to take? Because if they couldn't follow suit with the big homies, when will it ever catch on? My man told me, he said if unification was possible in the black community, it would have been happening because black people have exhausted any and every other thing available to them. I thought he was lying. Kind of had a semi-argument with him trying to defend the people. Then actually, that shit is true. Right? These conscious niggas use a special lot. They're a special type. And the only thing the family out here wanted to know in these streets is where's these niggas at? Why they not out here with y'all? Why y'all the only niggas that we see all the time? Where these niggas at?
Mm.
I ain't had no answers this time. Right? I ain't had no answers. Because if there was ever opportunity to have cameras out here, getting the true emotions and the feelings of the people at a time when you could have molded the situation in any way that you choose to, it was now. To stand with the people. But like I said, shout out to the NOI because when the LAPD came with the riot uniforms and the shields and the, you know what I'm saying, and the nightsticks and all of that, and it was about to rain pain on the crowds at the funeral home and along the procession routes and everything. It was the Nation of Islam who put their bodies between the police and the people. Right? So I rocks with the nation a long way. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing bad to say about them. I just don't like the way that this situation was handled. And I told them brothers, I said, look, Sabi came up in the nation under Elijah, all right? He was good friends with Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? He started off with, what's the joint called? Eat to Live, Live to Eat, what's it called?
Yeah. How to Eat to Live? Is that?
Yeah, that's where he started at. But that's not where he stopped, right? That's where he started at, and that's not where he stopped.
He,
You
he,
feel me?
he went past the
He went
milk.
past it,
The milk.
and yeah, and a lot of people are because these systems have hierarchies. You feel me? Like bosses talk to bosses. You know what I'm saying? You're not privy to some of these conversations because you don't know what's behind them, right? Some of these people wasn't even in the nation. Let's say that Sabi had a strife against Farrakhan. You wasn't even around when that took place or when that manifested. For you to even be talking about it authoritatively like you can defend it. You can't defend it. Sit down. You feel me? And the paradigm is exposed, right? You just got to accept the fact that there's a percentage of people that's just not going to be drinking milk no more or eating eggs or getting with none of those regimens or don't agree with Farrakhan. Stop taking that so personal, right? You can't convert the whole world. But that don't mean that we don't got love for him. That was my grandfather's student. You know what I'm saying? I would never disrespect that man. Right? I would never disrespect him. But I also can't change the mind of other people who don't agree with either him or what he represents or what he teaches. That's not how I choose to waste or spend my energy. I choose to stand in unison with principles that I stand in unison with. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. So I just see a lot of falseness, bro, based on ego. You know what I'm saying? And there's a level of clout chasing involved in that. Because ain't nobody hit our line. You want to know what Sabi thought? Ask me. Ask somebody from the family. And we'll explain it to you and give you the explanation as to why he probably arrived at those conclusions. But now the shit is out of my hands.
Indeed.
And they out there, they banging. And it's not, it's not looking good for some people because other people are standing on science.
Mm.
And that science is solid. You can't shake that.
Nah.
You can't shake it.
Not.
You feel me?
Not what Sabi.
The paradigms are really shifting. And they have a tendency to shift underneath you as well. Facts. So, look. So, Saturday, I was invited to a venue.
We got 5 minutes left, Blue. We got 5 minutes left.
In Inglewood, yeah, where sister had a cryptocurrency spot. The next day, Sunday, I did a pop-up there with the shifters, right? We packed the joint out. About 60 or 70 people came in there. A. Rashid, myself, 19 Keys spoke, Billionaire PA, my partner, Darren Henson, the actor, he spoke. He brought a elder with him who's a reverend. She spoke, who's a spiritual advisor to Farrakhan. They was with him the day before, okay? And they spoke. You understand? Now, even me telling you that is going to get people in their feelings. How could Farrakhan have a spiritual? Calm down. Chill. You know what you know. You don't know everything, though. Okay? Pack the joint out, right? In continuance to what the sister that owns the venue was creating a hustle coin with Nipsey. So She was dismayed when I saw her on Saturday. We restored hope to her. She's all the way alive. We're working on $1 billion plan right now. You understand? A few days after that, we get with Lauren Vanderpool, who was Sadie's chef, celebrity chef, um, Serena's chef, Carmen, a few other people. Lenny Kravitz. We did a pop up yesterday, right? Mama Angelique came, spoke for like an hour and a half, gave us a whole sermon, turned that venue into a shrine. Got the cosmic kale and a whole bunch of other hors d'oeuvres and foods up inside of her and other people that attended. It was very well attended. Beautiful event, paradigm shifting, and continuous with the marathon and that angle in terms of health, fitness, and wellness and stuff like that. Right now, I'm in Denver, right? I'm in Colorado. We just met with all of the cannabis experts teaching us about cannabis, CBD, because the brother had a dispensary where he was dealing with herb. You know what I'm saying? He had the OG marathon. And continuous with the marathon. So we out here doing the work, you know what I'm saying? Showing you the continuous of each one of these lanes. This is not all about us. I'm saying family can get in and get in wherever they fit in and start doing the work. Because that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. Are you going to pick up the baton and keep it moving? You feel me? Or if you're running your own race, salute, we honor you. You know what I'm saying? Let us put the light on that. Or let us help you however we can help. You feel me? But the bickering and the smallness, that shit has to come to an end. That's small dick behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas got to stand up and be men at these particular times, man. Put the bullshit to the wayside. That's all I got to say. Peace, love, and light.
Leave your contact info, Blue.
At Blue Pillar 44 on IG, Blue Pillar 44 at Gmail if you want to get at me. You know what I'm saying? Shoot me an email. You dig what I'm saying? I got a bunch of other stuff that's coming. You know what I mean? We could get around to that when that time is ready. All right, and support Brother Rich.
Indeed, indeed.
What's the Cash App? What's Cash App?
Yeah, Black Magic 363. I'll post the link in a
Yeah.
second.
$ Blue Pillar 44 on the Cash App. Please make sure that you support independent media. Oh, we got a gang of exclusives coming, you know what I'm saying? Because we're going to show you how vital these platforms are when it comes to independent media getting these stories out. All right?
All right, thanks for coming on, Blue. I'm going to see you. When you going to be in New York again, brother?
I have no idea.
I'm
I'm West Coasting.
I hear you, man. Well, thanks for joining us once again, my brother.
No, thank you.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Once again, family, that's the brother Blue Pill holding it down, giving us late night gems. It's 2:50 in the morning, East Coast time. I want to close out. I want to thank everybody for being everybody in the chat room. We're gonna close out, play some ads from these brothers and sisters with these magnificent businesses. Make sure your support. Got a gang of announcements coming soon that I'm involved with in terms of documentaries and music and a lot of different things. So I'll probably be making that in about a week. But besides that, family, thanks for all your support. I haven't uploaded a video in about a week. So yeah, I've been taking care of other things, but I'm back to doing what I do. What y'all talking about in the chat room before I get out of here? What y'all talking about, man? Got 800 son. What y'all talking about at 3 in the morning? What? I see King Simon in the chat. Shout out to King Simon. Yes. Shout out to King Simon in the chat. What else is going on? Y'all talking about Easter? Talking about Easter. What y'all doing? What y'all doing on Easter, man? What y'all doing this Sunday, man? Oh, talking shit, huh? I hear you. Master Mirror said just talking shit, huh? I hear that. We need a show on ego. Yeah, definitely. That's if you Google Brother Panic Ego, he's done a lot of shows on that. But I definitely need to do a show on that, just pertaining specifically to that. So, yeah, definitely. Besides that, what else y'all talking about? Doing a double shift. I hear that. Peace all the way live. Peace. Yes. Father Rich in the building. Roland Martin. Yeah, I need to interview Roland Martin. You're right. I need to interview Rolly. What they call a Rolly? But yeah, I would love to interview Roland Martin. Ask him some tough questions. So I gotta find out how to get that brother interview him, man. But yeah, it's 11:51 now in LA. Yeah, y'all 3 hours behind New York. Oh, the Ethiopian calendar says it's 2012. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I gotta look into that. That's interesting. Wow, that is interesting. Okay. All right, I'm out of here, family. And play these ads. Once again, thanks for tuning in. See y'all. I'll be back on here tomorrow with something. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, family.